Great. Thanks very much. Today I want to tell you about a brand new project called the Whale Sanctuary Project. And I have the pleasure of being one of the co-founders of the project, but also being here with two important members of this team, Dr. Naomi Rose and Dr. Heather Rowley. Next slide, please. The concept of sanctuary is connected to the concept of thriving. It's not enough for any human being or other being to just survive. Thriving is really the key to what we're all looking for in life. Thriving has a specific connotation. It has to do with an ability to reach your goals, to do what you want, to enact those capacities that you evolved to enact, to do the things you like to do. So sanctuaries are not just about animals surviving, they're about animals thriving. Next, please. We know now from just a mountain of scientific data that many large wild animals cannot thrive. It's zoos, aquariums, circuses, and laboratories. And these are some of them. Next slide, please. The answer to this issue is sanctuary. There are a number of zoos and circuses and other laboratories who are giving into the call to get these animals out of these situations and into a better situation. That better situation, that alternative is sanctuary. It is the alternative to everything that we've been talking about this weekend. Let me tell you what a sanctuary is, and that will tell you what it is not.
A wildlife sanctuary is a place of refuge where captive wildlife can live in peace and dignity for the remainder of their lives. True wildlife sanctuaries do not breed or exploit for commercial purposes. That's very important. If somebody tells you, I run a sanctuary and they're breeding the animals, they do not run a sanctuary. A true sanctuary respects the integrity of individuals, providing safe, healthy, and secure refuge in enclosures specifically designed for each animal's needs. Not just that animal's membership as a certain species, but we're talking on the individual level because, as we know, there's variability across individuals in every species. Next slide, please. Now, there are wildlife sanctuaries all over the world for all kinds of wild animals. Elephants, primates, bears, big cats. But, in fact, there are no sanctuaries anywhere on this planet for cetaceans. Next slide. Next slide. The Whale Sanctuary Project is a new nonprofit organization that was formed to remedy this situation. We are a nonprofit 501c3 founded in April of this year, and we are consisting of over 45 global expert advisors. Next slide. Next slide. Our mission is to establish a model seaside sanctuary where cetaceans can live in an environment that maximizes well-being and autonomy and is as close as possible to their natural habitat. Next slide. Now, we have a number of goals that I will very quickly go through because they are important. Those goals include bringing to the table all of the expertise that there is to make this a reality. And that includes expertise on both sides of the issue. And we actually have people, expert advisors on our advisory committee who are in the aquarium and zoo community because we recognize their expertise, and if they want to work with us, we will work with them. We plan to be a model sanctuary. In other words, it will be the first of its kind, and we plan to do it right. And what we hope is that we can disseminate our plan for how we did it, and everyone will copy us. And that's how this alternative to these commercial places will proliferate. So we want to encourage and inspire other facilities to adopt the same practices. Next slide. You might ask why not just release them all? Well, the answer is that captive-born animals cannot survive in the wild. Others have talked about why this is the case. Heather Rowley has talked about it. They just don't have the skills. Wild-caught animals will be considered on a case-by-case basis. And all decisions should and will be made according to best scientific practices, not what any of us wants to happen, but what we think will be the best for each resident of the sanctuary. Next slide. Putting together a project like this is huge. It takes a team of experts drawing from every sphere of expertise, from animal care and training, to marine mammal science, to engineering, to sanctuary operations and management, to policy and regulatory issues, public education and outreach, business development, PR and marketing, all that stuff. We even have t-shirts. Site selection and design and engineering. And everybody has to talk to each other, and all of that has to be coordinated. Next slide, please. Here's the concept. The concept is that we will create, within the next 3 to 5 years, the first permanent refuge or sanctuary on the coast for orcas and belugas, primarily, maybe cold water dolphins. That are retired from the entertainment industry, but we will also serve as a place where stranded animals can go. So instead of being stranded and injured and brought to a place where there's a vested interest in keeping them, what I call the one-way ticket to show business, they can come to us and we will release them if we can. If not, they've got a place to stay where the interests of that individual are top priority. We want to be the gold standard. We've got to do this right, folks. It's got to be done right now. Otherwise, we may not get another chance. So that's why we have, I think, the top team in the world developing this project. We are going to have world-class scientific and veterinary practices and education and outreach, and very importantly, transparency and the sharing of information. Because this isn't about, oh, we want to be the first to do this. This is about whoever wants to do this right and wants to totally copy us, great. We're happy to work with you. Next slide. things that we're going to have in there, because we've been talking about education and public outreach, right? So we're going to have a coastal sanctuary where 5 to 8 animals will be in an area of about 65 square acres, deep enough, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But there will also be a role for this project to educate and excite the public about who these animals are. And unlike theme parks, we can give the public authentic information about who these animals are and why they need to be in the wild. And that is a difference that really makes a difference when it comes to educating the public about who these animals are. We can give them the histories of these animals, and we can explain to them why they're here and why we have to take care of them and why they're not swimming in the ocean where they belong. We're going to have a visitor center. We're going to have tours. People will be able to see the animals, but from afar. They're not going to be right in their face. We will be able to establish internship programs with veterinarians, veterinary students, and local universities. There will be a lot of community outreach, and there will be some very, very cool, immersive, and interactive virtual reality displays, because we are now at the point where we can do that. And we can give people the experience of being in the water with the animals without being in the water with the animals, and it will actually be exciting and educational. So we plan to have that. Next slide. Any community that gets us is going to be awfully lucky, because we're going to be a big advantage to that community. There's going to be an advantage to that community because it will be put on the map as the first North American sanctuary for cetaceans, orcas and belugas, at least in North America. There will be loads of jobs associated with it, and all kinds of services that have to go with establishing this facility. There will also be all kinds of indirect advantages, including tourism. It's fine if something like a sanctuary is a destination. It's fine because the message you're sending is an authentic message about the animals. Next slide. So here's where we're looking, and we're right now in the process of site selection. On the west coast, we're looking in British Columbia, and we're looking in the state of Washington. And on the east coast, we're looking in Nova Scotia and in Maine. And again, this is because we want to house orcas and beluga whales, who are cold water animals. And we are in the process. I just came back from 2 trips to Nova Scotia to look at some sites. We're focusing now on BC, and we'll go back and forth. And in a few months, we will have a short list of sites that we will then consider taking to the next level of investigation. Next slide. So it's not easy, right, to find a place if you want a site where these animals can thrive, because we're not going to dig a hole in the ground and pump water into it. This is going to be a natural environment. So that environment has to have the right characteristics, the right temperature, salinity, depth, water flow. It has to have the ability to be accessible. You have to be able to bring utilities to it. And also, you have to be very, very careful about making sure that there's no negative impact on the surrounding animals and even the businesses around you. And also that the animals that are in the sanctuary are not impacted by pollution, including sound pollution. So this is really, just a short list of our sort of rule out criteria. So any site in those 4 locations that ends up on our short list has to have all of these characteristics. Okay? Next slide. So here's just an idea of how far we've come in a very short time. And it really is incredible. I mean, this, as I mentioned, this project, you know, it really began with a seminar that Naomi Rose and I put together in December of 2015 at the Marine Mammal Conference. And here we are, you know, we're actually doing this. We have funding, and we're moving forward. We launched in April of 2016. We launched with a high-profile article about the sanctuary in Science magazine, which is the most prestigious science magazine in the world. In July, we kicked off our strategic planning. We started our site selection survey just in August. And we are looking to the next 2 or 3 months to complete both our 3 to 5 year strategic plan, which we are working on now, and our short list of sites. And then by the beginning of next year, we hope to be in the next phase, which will be on-the-ground evaluations of each of the sites and a final decision about where this sanctuary will be. And again, it will be the very first of its kind in the entire world. There's nothing like it. It will be a permanent sanctuary, not just a temporary holding place for animals that are going to be released. So it will be more along the lines of some of the really great elephant and chimpanzee and big cat sanctuaries that already exist. Next slide, please. So I wanted to keep this short. I'm happy to take questions and talk to you about it, but I just want to thank everyone around the world who has been really supportive of this, because we've got a Facebook, a Twitter site, and thousands of people have been supporting this idea. The time has come. It is now the next stage in the future of our relationship with these animals. And that's really what this is about, right? It's about saving some animals or giving them a better life, giving back to them what we took from them because we wanted to be entertained. But it's also about creating a change, a shift in our relationship with the other animals. So please check us out on our website and on Facebook and on Twitter. And I hope to be able to give you some updates, and maybe in a few months from now, be able to tell you where this North American sanctuary is going to be. So thank you. Thank you.